Hello, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. And this is Star Wars Saturday. So we're playing Star Wars Saturdays, which is an ongoing anthology campaign that I've been running for the Open Hearth community for a few years now. And interestingly enough, we're coming up on the sixth anniversary, started in 2017 in December. And here we are in December of 2023. Crazy. So it is really six. So Star Wars Saturdays, in case it's the first time you have watched one of these, is where I take different tabletop RPGs, mostly indie. Well, okay, like all indie. Tabletop RPGs, and I hack up or a remix or change something about it, or just say, hey, this is in Star Wars now. And people from the Open Hearth gaming community will RSVP, come together, and create characters, revisit older characters, pick up NPCs from previous game sessions, and we tell a story together, usually for a month, but sometimes I'll run the game over the course of like 2 weeks, and sometimes I run it for longer. This is Infinite Galaxies, is the 96th different tabletop RPG that I have run or played set in Star Wars, and to date, not one of them have been the official Star Wars RPGs, the Saga system, the Genesis system, or the original West End game system. I have played all of those, but I don't count them in this silly Star Wars Saturdays craziness. No, it's after 100. The closest I've come is Hyperspace D6, which is uses the core engine or the D6 engines of Western Game, D6 engine Western Games Open D6, but it is remixed significantly and not officially a Star Wars RPG, so I get to slide in under the radar with that. Anyway, that's a long preamble, but I'll add only to it that we do use safety tools here, as I think everyone should, after a fashion. I even use safety tools with my home group, which is it's important. It's a great communication tool to make sure that folks can talk about the content that they want and what they're not interested in that particular game session. And the tools that we use a layered set of safety tools. Lines and veils. A line is a line we shall not cross. We're just not interested in that content at all in our fiction, not even hinting or throwing towards it. It doesn't get to be in your backstory. It's just a thing that hasn't happened. We're not saying that it's not possible for it to happen. We're just not interested in that in our stories. A veil is something where, okay, sure, that happened, but we're not going to shine a spotlight on it. For example, I always stick in sexual content because sure, we can have sexy aliens in our Star Wars. Sure, people will procreate, and that's totally cool. I just don't want to make a Star Wars game about the act of hooking up. So we play some saxophone music and fade away. And then last is ask first within that grouping. Ask first is it's situational. This concept could be cool, but I am leery of just saying willy nilly we throw it in. For example, I always put in midichlorians because some people are midichlorians are hashtag not my Star Wars, and I respect that. Trying to take science fantasy and trying to make it more scientific in a pseudo DNA way can be off putting for some. So with Ask First, that concept is you, the player, if you have that idea, like, I want to say that my M count's huge, but you see that it's Ask First, you say, okay, guys, I was thinking it would be cool if I referenced that my character's M count was large. And if anyone says, yeah, that's stupid and dumb, probably don't say that's stupid and dumb, but say, can you try it a different way, or can we sense the force is strong in you without having to take it to it's a 46 on a 42 scale or something, and then we'll go with that. It's like an X card in a way, which is another piece of my layered safety tools. We have an X card out there. X card is for anything you didn't realize you would need to say, I'm not interested in this, or it just strikes you odd or bothers you in any way. We don't want to harsh your fun. Your fun, your safety is more important than the game's lore. So just say, hey, I need to play an X card right now, or I need to X card this. I've had people actually X card certain names. It's bothersome for them. So that's totally cool. Now, if Lars Nootbaar is something you want to X card, I'm just going to tell you ahead of time. It's a content warning. There may be a Lars Nootbaar somewhere in our Star Wars now, because Keith mentioned that was a great Star Wars name, and I heartily agree. I heartily agree. So there's my that I said that was going to bring the preamble to an end, which I just have. Everyone has created characters for Infinite Galaxies, which is the game we will be playing this December. In Infinite Galaxies, it is a Powered by the Apocalypse game, heavily inspired by Dungeon World, which we all agree is a pretty great foundational Powered by the Apocalypse game, or an Apocalypse Engine game. It's built Infinite Galaxies is not a Star Wars game. It is a space opera styled game. It definitely leans into a lot of the tropes that we see in Star Wars, so it's an easy conversion for me. It has some interesting concepts in that there are statistical origins, there are packages of moves that are tied to particular playbooks, and some interesting ways for people to earn experience points for advancement. And a ton of advances, which I kind of lay at the feet of Dungeon World. That's the thing. Everyone's created a character, but we have not established relationships or figured out why these people are traveling together. We are not going to have them meet in a cantina and look at a posting on a wall. So we will establish their relationships, but let's have folks introduce their characters. I'd like to start from the right hand side of the character keeper, which is over here on my second screen, and head towards the left. So, Stephen, if you could introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your character.
Hi, my name is Steven. My pronouns are he, him. And I'm playing CT8054, codename Phoenix, who is a clone trooper. Phoenix is all he goes by. At this point, he's an elderly clone trooper. He was primarily a medic during the wars and has an addiction to, what did they call it? Metabolic tonic. This is what he can sip on in order to stay useful and not be like all bowed up from age and everything. Um, and you know, he's used to action. He's used to, being in the middle of the thick of a fight. And, as much as he tries to leave it, he just keeps coming back to it.
Question: How, and this is completely in your hands,
Mhm.
Stephen. How expensive and or rare is metabolic tonic? Is it one of those things that's just recently been discovered and is easily found? Is it something that you found out about as you as you aged? What is it? I'm curious.
I think it's basically sort of like Bacta. It's a derivative of Bacta that's very common in, medical shops and things like that. This is something that I'm like, that of course there weren't very many clones that looked into, no one looked into how to extend the lifespan of a clone or how to make them usable. Basically, we're expendable, and um, we have an advanced aging lifespan to make us functional for a certain period of time. But I found, being a medic, that this helped out with the aging process. It's not that it slowed it; it just made me useful during that process.
Okay, so it doesn't retard the aging. It just reduces some of the deleterious or effects of aging. Interesting.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Stephen. And Ash, you are next, sir.
Yeah, I'm Anders, he, him. I'm playing Lorne Volnal, who is the Jedi playbook and who is some kind of alien. This is the picture is a canonical Star Wars alien. I don't remember what they're called. I'm not going to bother too much about that. He's an alien. It's I'll come up with some details. Canonically, they are think we're amphibian or aquatic or something. So I'll probably play into that a bit. Yeah, I also have some metabolic tonic. I don't know if I'm your supplier, but think I don't make my own maybe, but I kind of put my own. I feel like I like modify it a bit, just because that's a fun thing to do.
We are playing in the post Return of the Jedi time frame. So you are playing a Jedi. Were you a brand new term introduced in Ahsoka? Were you a Boken Jedi? Were you raised in a temple and happened to survive the Order 66 purge?
Think yeah, I think he was raised as a Jedi, but I kind of think he's of a fairly long-lived species. Like he's maybe 100 years old or something. Um, so he was trained as a Jedi like long before that happened, and I think he's been on like traveling around the galaxy. So he was probably outside the Empire when that happened, and he has returned late.
That's cool. I like that. Nice. Oh, an elder statesman of the old Jedi Order. Delightful.
He's probably picked up some weird ideas along the way as well.
That is reversed for me, Steve. Just as up. Last but not least is Keith. You could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
My name is Keith. I use the he, him pronouns, and I am playing Dod Badu, a Rhodian, the Jack playbook, which I find kind of hard to describe. It's a vibe more than it's a particular thing. But you can select one of the specific, what was it, packages, backgrounds? And I went with Scoundrel. So, I mean, Star Wars Scoundrel, you're immediately starting to think of Han Solo. And that's probably where Rhodian popped in my head, but I like to think it was mostly the color green. Dod Badu used to be involved in some criminal enterprises, considered criminal by some folks, but you know, morality is a spectrum. And she's really just interested in doing cool stuff and trying to do certain things that maybe don't seem like they could be done, finding out things that people don't want to be found out, locating and acquiring objects that are difficult to do so, and you know, just sucking the marrow out of life. Got to experience it to the fullest. So we'll see what kind of perils and troubles that leads her into.
Amazing. I really like this crew. Now I want to know how this crew relates to each other. So what we're going to do is, Keith, you were last to introduce your character. You get to kick this off. We're doing it snake order. Take a look at the relationships that you have starting at row 51 of the keeper. And it's think about one, or if you have ideas for both, of a relationship you'd like to offer to one of the other characters.
I mean, the first thing that I see, given that we have someone who is super long lived and has probably found out a whole lot how the galaxy works, I would like to get Lorne to tell me secrets.
I
That drop down should. Oh, it doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't, but
It.
I could type it. Look. Oh, no, now it is.
Oh, it did work a little bit, kind of. Oh, there it is. Yay. Sweet. Did you have a second, or do you want us to move on to Undash?
You said we were doing Snake, Rich. Does that have no meaning?
You're right. We must stick by Snake. So Undash, choose a relationship that you think is interesting to offer up to another PC.
Yeah, I think I will take my side of that relationship, and that's that God must take me to dangerous places because I'm looking for like Jedi related locations. So, and Dad seems like the kind of Dodd. How do you pronounce it? Dodd.
God,
Dodd. Dodd seems like the kind of person who would be able to do that.
you won't have to ask her twice.
My drop down shows my name and Dodd, so I'm
Okay.
not seeing.
Sorry. Just type it in. I will.
Cool.
All right. I will fiddle with that. Steven, you're up next, and you get to go twice because it's snake order. True snake order, you get to pick both relationships and then it's finished.
My pull down is perfect, just so you know. Yeah. So I'm gonna choose. I must train Dod Badu to make better choices in combat because I think they're reckless about what they do. And my second choice is going to be I think Lauren Vanal needs to keep me healed and ready to fight. It's something I've been thinking about as far as if we have a Jedi and an old clone trooper, how is that going to function because of Order 66? And I think that I, due to the aging process and the extra metabolic liquid I've been taking, I think that the chip has been degraded or destroyed from my immune system. And I have a great deal of guilt about Order 66 itself. Yeah.
So you took part in Order 66?
I think I did, but I was basically a medic. So I healed those. I
Oh,
wasn't, a frontline fighter.
yeah.
I healed those who were taking order in, who were hurt by Jedi and to put them back into the fight. But I have a great deal of guilt about that. And I think since Order 66, I've been because of the aging process, this metabolic fluid, this metabolic potion has enhanced my immune system to the
Yeah,
point where it's degraded or destroyed the chip.
that's very cool.
And Lorne wasn't around when Order 66 happened.
Mhm.
So you probably have less of the enmity that a surviving Jedi might. Interesting.
Yeah, but I still know that it was the
Oh,
clone
yeah, sure.
troopers who wiped everyone out. So I think there's some. Don't think like personal animosity. I don't think I returned until like probably after the empire had fallen. So a lot of this is kind of abstract to me. Um, it's more like something I know happened. And of course, I knew people who were killed. So, yeah, but I wasn't there for it. So that is definitely different. Okay, so I'm doing my second one for Phoenix. That's interesting. I think I will save Phoenix from certain death. I think this is partly. I think this is partly like trying to help him overcome his guilt, like showing. I want him to know that he has value as his own person, basically.
My last one, also for Phoenix. Some of these relationships are a little weird in that it's not something I can actively do, but I still think it fits. That Phoenix will risk themselves to protect me. Except that one, it does seem in keeping. Does that work for you, Stephen?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Interesting stuff. Cool. All of the gear, moves, drives, everything else has been chosen. Keith, tell us about the drives that you've chosen. So drives are character motivations that can result in experience points. That does not appear from my reading that this is an XP on a miss. So better hit those drives. So
My
what
goodness, yeah.
drives did you choose for Dodd Badoo?
So I was thinking about a lot of the trying to prove herself and trying to make things happen that are difficult or other people don't want to have happen. So the first of those was defeat someone by taking advantage of them. And the complementary one, find critical information no one else can.
Dang, interesting. Anesh, what drives did you choose for your Jedi?
I have picked, as I alluded to earlier, investigate a place or object of force power, and also demonstrate your power to those who doubt you. And I think this is, I've realized that a lot of people seem to have forgotten about the Jedi in a weird way. Like the Jedi are out both of mind or like of memory and as an institution. And I think I want to keep not necessarily the Jedi Order alive, but at least the teachings and the knowledge and wisdom. And part of that is like showing the things we can do.
Nice. And then, oh wow, I just you fixed the Phoenix, and that pick is a great pick. Stephen, if you could tell us about the drives you've chosen, what interests you about them?
Yeah, my drives are explore a dangerous area where combat is likely, um, and heal someone who is dangerously close to death.
Wow. What's interesting is several of these drives tell me these are situations I have to stick you in, right? I need to have um, someone that could be taken advantage of. I need critical information. I need people to doubt our Jedi. I need objects of force power. I need dangerous areas and someone close to dying. That's fascinating. You know, drives that tell the GM here are the situations to set up are ripe.
And chosen by the players, as in this is what I want to do with this character. Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, close to dying will probably fix that for you.
Do our best to have people. Maybe I should just open the game with someone close to dying in a dangerous situation, dealing with force powers, uh, an object of force power. Yeah. And the only thing that can save them is critical information that no one knows. That's it. Now, in actuality, I think what I'll do is take a break. Cool. So we're going to take our mid-game bio break. Going to walk around for a little bit and think about things, and then we will get back together and play. Take 10 minutes. See you guys in a bit. He takes a break. He just like disconnects.
I am trying to save every percentage of power on this laptop because I don't have the cord.
Oh,
So if I disappear more permanently, I
okay.
don't know why.
Wow, that sucks. That sucks, friend.
Well, I was like, thank goodness Rich has to leave 45 minutes early.
It worked out. Maybe this was meant to be. Okay. We're back. It's exactly 10 minutes. So I'm doing